Hello dear students, welcome back to my channel Educational Corner. As you are aware that we have completed lesson 7 temperature and its measurement from our science NCERT book Curiosity. Today we will be doing its important points. If you have not watched part 1 and part 2, that is the explanation of this chapter and exercises and summary, kindly watch and like my video. So let's get started with the important points of lesson number 7. So the very first point is some bodies are hotter than others. We cannot always rely upon our sense of touch to decide correctly whether a body is hot or cold. A reliable measure of hotness or coldness of a body is its temperature. So the definition of temperature is that the reliable measure of hotness or coldness of a body is called temperature, right? So we cannot always rely or depend on the sense of touch to decide correctly that whether a body is hot or cold. A hotter body has higher temperature than a colder body. So this is very clear with the sentence only कि hotter body जो है वो higher has higher temperature than the colder body. The difference in temperature between the two bodies tells us how hot a body is in comparison to another body. So ये लेसन के टाइम भी आपको मैंने बताया था एक्सप्लेनेशन के टाइम पे कि जो डिफरेंस है टेम्परेचर में वो कैसे पता लगेगा एक हॉट और कोल्ड बॉडी में. जैसे कि अगर टू बॉडीज हमारे पास हैं उसके बीच का जो डिफरेंस होगा वो ही हमें बताएगा कि एक बॉडी दूसरी से कितनी ज्यादा कंपैरिजन में हॉट. A device that measures temperature is called thermometer. So definition of thermometer is a device that measures temperature. It is called thermometer. In this lesson we have read about two kind of thermometer, that is clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. So clinical thermometer are used to measure human body temperature, whereas laboratory thermometer are used for many other purposes, like it is used to measure different type of objects which are around us, okay, like boiling water, ice, etc. So this is the difference between clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer, that clinical thermometer is used to measure human body temperature, whereas laboratory thermometer are used for many other purposes, like they are used to measure different objects which are around us, right? A thermometer which is used for measuring our body temperature, it is called clinical thermometer. So this already we have understood that thermometer which we see at our home and which is used to measure our body temperature, it is called clinical thermometer. Some thermometers show temperature digitally. These are also known as digital clinical thermometer and run on batteries. So some thermometer you see that at your home they are showing temperature digitally, means they are showing in numbers, right? So they are called digital clinical thermometer and they run on batteries, means we use cell to use these kind of thermometer. For measuring temperature, the clinical thermometer generally uses a scale called Celsius scale. So when we use a clinical thermometer, we use a scale in which we measure the temperature. It is the Celsius scale. On this scale, the unit of temperature is degree Celsius and is denoted by degree C, capital C. You can see the symbol of degree here and capital C. So when we measure temperature using clinical thermometer, we use a scale which is called Celsius scale and it is denoted by this degree and then capital C. Earlier, mercury thermometers were used for measuring the body temperature. So earlier, we used to measure the body temperature using mercury thermometer. Which are these mercury thermometer? Which are not digital. These are not digital one, and they contain mercury in them. Okay, so mercury is an extremely toxic, means poisonous substance, and is difficult to dispose of it if the thermometer breaks accidentally. So if the thermometer breaks accidentally, then it is very difficult to dispose of this substance which is very toxic, called as mercury. Okay, so now mercury thermometers are being replaced by digital thermometer. Temperature in a digital thermometer is determined with the help of heat sensors. So how the digital thermometer help to measure the temperature? With the help of the heat sensors which are present in the thermometer. Infrared thermometers can measure temperature without touching a person's body and thus reduce the risk of spreading disease. So infrared thermometers, they were used during the COVID period also. Uh, they measure temperature without touching a person's body, and they also reduce, because they are not touching a person's body, so it helps us in reducing the risk of spreading a particular disease. So during the COVID times, we have used infrared thermometers. Precautions to be taken while using a digital clinical thermometer. So this thermometer is available at your home, and this digital clinical thermometer, there are some precautions which we have to take while using it. So what are the precautions? First is you have to read the manual, means the instruction part, and then you have to use it. Then the tip of the thermometer should be washed with soap and water before and after use. This is the second point, that we have to use soap. We have to use soap and water. We have to wash the tip of thermometer, and we have to use soap and water before and after use, right? Third point is that while washing, care has to be taken that the digital portion, such as the digital portion, should be kept out of the water. The display should be kept out of the water. Okay, and we should not hold the thermometer by the tip. The normal temperature of a healthy human body is taken to be 37.0 degrees Celsius. So this is the normal temperature, and this is very important also, that what is the normal body temperature of human body. This is 37.0 degrees Celsius. The body temperature is influenced by several factors such as age, time of day, and activity level. So our body temperature is influenced, means it get changed by several factors like age, time of day, and activity level. There is another scale of temperature known as Fahrenheit scale. On this scale, the unit of temperature is degree Fahrenheit and is denoted by degree F, capital F. Okay, so another scale which we are going to, which we have studied here, is Fahrenheit scale, and we write it as degree Fahrenheit, capital F. A temperature measured as 37.0 degrees Celsius on Celsius scale is equivalent to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit on Fahrenheit scale. So if we are measuring in Celsius, the normal body temperature is 37.0 degrees Celsius, and if we are measuring it on Fahrenheit scale, then it is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. So these both are the normal body normal temperature of a healthy human body, but one is on Celsius scale and other is on the Fahrenheit scale, right? In scientific work, there is another scale of temperature known as Kelvin scale. On this scale, the unit for temperature is Kelvin and is denoted by K. So there is another scale of temperature which is Kelvin scale, and the unit, it is denoted by K, capital K. Okay, So for scientific work, we use Kelvin scale. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. All three temperature scales, Celsius, Fahrenheit and Kelvin, are named in honor of the scientist. Okay, so they are named after the uh, in the honor of the scientist. We can easily convert temperature from Celsius scale to Kelvin scale by using this small formula. The temperature, when we have to take out temperature in Kelvin scale, what we will do, we will add temperature in Celsius scale to 273.15. Okay, so in this way we can take out temperature in Kelvin scale, right? The names of temperature scales, Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale and Kelvin scale, start with a capital letter, right? C, F and K. For units for temperature, degree Celsius and degree Fahrenheit, the word degree starts with lowercase letter, and Celsius and Fahrenheit start with capital letter. Okay, so for Celsius and Fahrenheit, they start with capital letter. The unit Kelvin starts with a lowercase letter. The symbol of all units, degree, C matlab degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit means, F means Fahrenheit, degree Fahrenheit, K means Kelvin, and we do not use any degree symbol before Kelvin. They are in capital letter, right? Fever affects the pulse rate of a person. This was known even in olden days in India. So earlier, when there were no thermometer, the doctor or any other person who was there in medical, they used to feel the pulse rate of a person and find out whether he or she is suffering from fever or not. Pulse rate alone is not a reliable indicator of fever, but alone, if we rely on pulse rate to find out that a person is having fever or not, it is not the reliable source for finding out that a person is suffering from fever. Okay, laboratory thermometer. Now we are going to study about laboratory thermometer. Laboratory thermometer is used to measure temperature of objects around us like ice, boiling water, etc. I have taken two objects which we have already measured here in the lesson. So laboratory thermometer, there is a definition that it is used to measure temperature of objects which are around us. Okay, it consists of, now this is the that what does it consist of? It consists of long narrow uniform glass tube which is sealed. At one end of the tube is a bulb which contains a liquid. Outside the bulb in the tube, a narrow column of liquid can be seen. Okay, so it consists of long narrow, ये किस इसके अंदर क्या होता है, इसके एक long narrow ग्लास ट्यूब होती है जो सील होती है. ठीक है, एक एंड पे बल्ब नजर आता है और उसमें हमें लिक्विड नजर आती है अंदर की तरफ, right? Laboratory thermometer typically have a temperature range from -10 degree Celsius to 110 degree Celsius. So इनकी रेंज कहाँ से जाती है? -10 डिग्री सेल्सियस से लेके 110 डिग्री सेल्सियस तक जाती है. ओके, the liquid used in laboratory thermometer is generally alcohol, colored red to make it easily seen, or mercury. So the in laboratory thermometer we use alcohol or mercury which is red color and it can be seen easily. Precautions which we have to take while using a laboratory thermometer is we have to handle it with care, because if it hits a hard object it can break, and we should not hold it by the bulb. Okay, correct way of measuring temperature using a laboratory thermometer. Now here are the correct ways, 4 ways how can we see or measure temperature using a laboratory thermometer. So when it is immersed in water, its bulb should not touch the bottom or side of a beaker. ये बताया भी था मैंने, बीकर जो आप ले रहे हो जिसमें आपने वाटर लिया हुआ है, ठीक है, तो जब इसको आपने इमर्स मतलब इसको रखा हुआ है पानी के अंदर, उस टाइम पर इसको या तो ना ये नीचे टच हो और ना साइड्स में टच हो. The thermometer should be held vertically, not be tilted. So it should be held, मतलब इसको हमें vertically ही रखना है, tilt नहीं करना, टेढ़ा नहीं करना है. The temperature must be read while the thermometer is immersed in water. And temperature, if we want to record, we can record or read at the time when the thermometer is immersed in water. जब वो water से बाहर निकल जाता है उस टाइम पे हमें नहीं read करना चाहिए. It will give incorrect temperature. Right? While reading the thermometer, the eye should be indirectly in line with the level of liquid column to be read. So while you are reading a thermometer, the eye contact should be proper with the thermometer. It should be directly in line. It should not नीचे या ऊपर नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be directly in line with the level of liquid column to be read. So these are some of the ways in by which we can measure the temperature and we'll get the correct measurement of a particular object using a laboratory thermometer. Air temperature is an important weather parameter and is monitored at weather stations all over the world. So as you are aware that air temperature is the important part and it helps to monitor to see all the weather stations all over the world. So this is very important for weather forecast, air temperature. Anna Mani 1918-2001 was an Indian scientist also known as the Weather Woman of India. So we have read about this scientist that Anna Mani was born in 1918 and she died in 2001. She was an Indian scientist who was also known as Weather Woman of India. Why? Because she invented and built a large number of weather measurement instrument, okay, which helped India to prosper. So these are the important points of this lesson. So with this I end up my video here and hope you like my video and these points will be useful to you. So keep watching and liking my videos. Thank you so much. Take care. Goodbye.